Picture this. You walk into a gym, and there's some guy hogging the bench press for 30 minutes straight, scrolling through Instagram between sets. Meanwhile, outside in the park, someone's cranking out muscle-ups on a rusty bar like they're defying physics. Both of these people are getting stronger, but they're taking completely different paths to get there. So here's the million-dollar question that's probably been eating at you. Should you join Team Iron and start throwing around heavy weights? Or should you embrace the raw simplicity of using nothing but your own body weight? Today we're settling this debate once and for all. Calisthenics versus weightlifting. Which one's actually going to get you the results you want without wasting your time or your money? By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which path is calling your name, and more importantly, why most people are making the wrong choice for their specific situation. Let's start by getting crystal clear on what we're actually comparing here. Calisthenics is the art of using your body as the ultimate training tool. No fancy equipment, no monthly memberships, just you versus gravity in the most primal battle known to fitness. We're talking push-ups, pull-ups, dips, squats, and once you level up, the show-stopping moves like handstand push-ups, muscle-ups, and human flags that make people stop and stare. Weightlifting, on the other hand, is the science of progressive overload using external resistance. Barbells, dumbbells, machines, cables, and enough iron to build a small building. It's methodical, measurable, and designed around one core principle. Add more weight, get more strength. Both approaches will absolutely transform your physique and make you stronger, but here's where it gets interesting. They don't build the same type of strength, they don't cost the same amount of money, and they definitely don't suit everyone's lifestyle. So let's dig into what really matters to you. Money talks, and for most people starting their fitness journey, it screams pretty loudly. Calisthenics is basically the ultimate budget-friendly fitness solution. Your membership fee? $0. Your equipment cost? Maybe $50 for a decent pull-up bar if you want to train at home. Everything else is completely free. Gravity doesn't charge rent, and your body weight doesn't come with a monthly subscription fee. You can train in your bedroom, at the local park, on a beach, or literally anywhere you can find enough space to move around. Want to upgrade your setup? Grab some resistance bands or gymnastic rings, but we're still talking about a one-time investment of maybe $100 total. Now let's talk about the gym side of things. Even the most basic commercial gym is going to run you at least $40 to $60 per month. That's $500 to $700 per year, just for the privilege of walking through the door. Want a nicer facility with better equipment, classes, and amenities? You're easily looking at $80 to $150 monthly. And if you're thinking about building a home gym, buckle up. A decent barbell set, plates, a squat rack, and a bench will cost you anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 before you even consider upgrading. So when it comes to your wallet, calisthenics wins this round by a landslide. But here's where things get interesting. Just because calisthenics is cheaper doesn't mean it's easier to get started with. In fact, for most beginners, it's actually much harder. When you start with calisthenics, there's no lightweight option. You're immediately lifting your entire body weight, whether you're ready for it or not. Think about it. A complete beginner might struggle to do even 5 proper push-ups. Pull-ups? Most people can't do a single one when they start. That's like jumping straight into advanced mode without learning the basics first. Progress can feel painfully slow, and that first pull-up might take weeks or even months of dedicated training to achieve. Compare that to walking into a gym, where you can start with 2-pound dumbbells if you need to. Machines that guide you through proper form and let you adjust the resistance to match your current strength level. Cable systems where you can literally move the pin to make an exercise easier or harder in 5-pound increments. For someone who's never trained before, the gym provides an incredibly beginner-friendly environment where you can start seeing progress immediately. This psychological factor is huge. When you can see yourself getting stronger week after week by adding small amounts of weight, it creates momentum and motivation that keeps you coming back. That early success is often the difference between someone who sticks with their fitness routine and someone who gives up after a few weeks. Now let's talk about the type of strength and physique each method builds, because this is where the real differences become obvious. Calisthenics creates what I call functional strength. When you're doing a muscle-up, you're not just working your lats and biceps in isolation. You're coordinating your entire body, engaging your core for stability, and moving through complex ranges of motion that translate directly to real-world movement patterns. This creates bodies that don't just look strong, they move with incredible control and coordination. Calisthenics athletes often have that lean, defined look with incredible core strength and the ability to perform movements that seem to defy physics. Weightlifting, however, is the undisputed champion when it comes to building maximum muscle size and raw strength. When you can progressively add weight to a movement week after week, you can push your muscles far beyond what body weight alone can achieve. This is especially true for your lower body. While pistol squats are impressive, they'll never challenge your legs the same way that squatting with a loaded barbell will. The gym also gives you surgical precision when it comes to targeting specific muscle groups. Want bigger shoulders? You've got overhead presses, lateral raises, rear delt flies, and a dozen other exercises to hit every angle. Need to bring up lagging hamstrings? Romanian deadlifts, leg curls, and good mornings have you covered. This specificity is what creates those impressive, well-balanced physiques you see in bodybuilding and powerlifting. The ability to isolate and overload individual muscle groups leads to maximum size and strength gains. But here's where the plot thickens: progression and tracking your results. In weightlifting, progression is beautifully simple. You lifted 100 pounds last week. This week you try for 105. The numbers don't lie, and tracking your progress is as easy as writing down the weights you used. With calisthenics, progression is more like solving a puzzle. Once you can do 20 regular push-ups, you don't just add more reps indefinitely. Instead, you progress to harder variations. Maybe archer push-ups, then one-arm push-ups, then elevated one-arm push-ups. Each progression can take months to master, and tracking your improvement becomes more subjective and complex. Let's address the elephant in the room that nobody wants to talk about: weight loss. Here's the brutal truth. If your primary goal is to lose fat, neither calisthenics nor weightlifting alone is going to be your magic bullet. Weight loss happens in the kitchen first, and in the gym second. You cannot out-train a bad diet, period. However, if you're carrying extra weight and you're just starting out, calisthenics can feel like torture. Every push-up means pushing your entire body weight. Every pull-up attempt might be impossible. This is where the gym's scalability becomes a lifesaver. You can start with assisted movements, lighter weights, and gradually build up your strength while simultaneously working on your nutrition. Plus, gyms typically come equipped with cardio machines that make it easy to add calorie-burning activities to your routine. Treadmills, ellipticals, and stationary bikes can help accelerate fat loss while you're building strength with weights. Here's something most people completely overlook. The environment where you train has a massive impact on your consistency and motivation. Calisthenics offers incredible freedom. You can train anywhere, anytime, without depending on gym hours or dealing with crowds. Bad weather? Train in your living room. Traveling? Your body weight comes with you. But that freedom is also a double-edged sword. With no external structure, no gym environment to get you pumped up, and no other people around grinding through their workouts, it's easy for motivation to fade. Some people thrive on that independence and self-reliance. Others need the energy and accountability that comes with being around other motivated people. The gym environment has a psychological power that shouldn't be underestimated. The music, the energy, the sight of other people pushing themselves creates a mental state that can push you beyond what you'd achieve training alone. Just walking into that space flips a switch in your brain that says it's time to work. On the flip side, gyms can also be intimidating, crowded, and sometimes downright inconvenient. Nothing kills motivation quite like having to wait 20 minutes for equipment or dealing with someone who doesn't understand basic gym etiquette. Let's bust some myths that keep people from making informed decisions. First, the safety question. Both calisthenics and weightlifting are incredibly safe when performed with proper form and intelligent programming. Injuries typically come from ego lifting, poor technique, or pushing too hard too fast, not from the training method itself. The idea that weightlifting stunts growth in young people is complete nonsense. Properly supervised resistance training can actually improve bone density and support healthy development. The real danger comes from unsupervised training with poor form, regardless of whether you're using weights or body weight. Another myth is that calisthenics is automatically better for flexibility and mobility. While calisthenics does tend to involve more dynamic movements and full ranges of motion, weightlifting can also improve flexibility when exercises are performed through complete ranges of motion with proper form. Here's the reality check that most fitness content won't tell you. The best training program is the one you'll actually stick to consistently over time. If you love the convenience and minimalism of calisthenics, if you get excited about mastering new movement skills, and if you prefer training solo, then bodyweight training might be your perfect match. If you thrive on measurable progress, enjoy the precision of targeted muscle building, and you're motivated by the gym environment, then weightlifting could be your path to success. But here's a radical idea. Who says you have to choose just one? Some of the most well-rounded athletes combine both approaches. You might do heavy compound lifts in the gym twice a week and practice calisthenics skills on your off days, or alternate between phases, spending a few months focused on strength building with weights, then switching to a calisthenics phase to work on movement quality and conditioning. The human body responds incredibly well to variety, and combining both approaches can give you the muscle-building benefits of weightlifting with the functional movement patterns of calisthenics. If you're still on the fence, here's my practical recommendation. If you're a complete beginner with limited experience, start with whichever option removes the most barriers to consistency. If money is tight and you need maximum flexibility, go with calisthenics. If you have access to a good gym and you want faster initial progress, start with weightlifting. Give your chosen method at least 3 to 6 months of consistent effort before making any major changes. That's enough time to move past the initial learning curve and start seeing real results. Remember, the perfect program executed inconsistently will always lose to the decent program that you stick with religiously. Your genetics, lifestyle, preferences, and goals are unique to you. The training method that transforms your neighbor might not be the one that works best for you. The fitness industry loves to create false dichotomies and make you feel like you have to pick sides. The truth is, both calisthenics and weightlifting are incredibly effective tools for building strength, muscle, and confidence. The key is honest self-assessment about what you'll actually stick with long-term. Whether you choose to master the art of bodyweight movement or embrace the science of progressive overload with weights, the most important step is the one you take today. Your future self will thank you for starting, regardless of which path you choose.